Diet talk is all around us and it can be tough to deal with sometimes. So today I'm going to give you some tips. So once you become aware of diet talk, you start to see that it really is all around us. People are saying diety things all the time, whether it's comments made on television or things that you see posted on Instagram or just in your conversations that you're having with friends and family. And all of these little comments about what someone should be eating or shouldn't be eating or how they're gonna have to make up for what they ate today by going to the gym tomorrow and all these other things that people say, they can really start to weigh on you, especially if you're still trying to break out of a diet mindset. And right now when this video is going up, we are at a time where I think diet talk has the potential to be at an all-time high for you compared to the rest of the year. I mean, right now we're coming out of Thanksgiving in the US. We're kind of right in all of the holiday stuff that goes on this time of year, and that involves a lot of get-togethers and a lot of things that surround food and, special meals and a lot of special seasonal foods that people might be eating. You also have a lot of people looking towards the new year and resolutions they might want to make, a lot of those which center around weight loss and dieting. So all this stuff combined creates an environment where there's a ton of diet talk all around you. So I think these tips are going to be really great for this time of year, but they're also going to apply to the rest of the year as well. So the first thing I think you can do is just acknowledge that diet talk is gonna happen. You're gonna be exposed to it. It's happening everywhere because we do live in a diet culture, and it's, the acceptable or even encouraged thing to do is to have all of these diety comments all the time. So just kind of going in, knowing that it's gonna happen, I think can really help because it helps you mentally prepare and realize that this is something that you're gonna be exposed to and that you're gonna have to deal with, so it doesn't take you by surprise. The next thing that I think can really help is calling out the diety comments in your mind when you hear them. So when you go out to eat with someone and they say, man, I really like dessert, but I'm trying to be good today, call it out in your mind right there. This person is making a diet comment. They're tying what they're eating to morality, whether they're a good person or a bad person, based on whether or not they get dessert. And just kind of put that little flag up in your head. And I think that helps because especially if you're still dealing with some of these diety thoughts of your own and you're trying to break out of that, hearing them from other people can kind of push you back into that dieting mindset. So if you can call it out and kind of just put up that little flag for yourself like, hey, this is diet talk, this is not a thing that we need to pay attention to or that we need to use to influence the decisions that we're making about ourselves, just calling it out for yourself can help you take that comment and kind of push it to the side or push it away so it doesn't get mixed in with your own thoughts. Something else that I think can really help is talking about it with other people. So if you have people in your life who are on the same page with you as far as being anti-diet and not engaging in all these diety conversations, it can be nice to talk to that person about the things you hear. So it might be, you're both together in a situation and you hear someone make a comment and you can kind of, acknowledge each other like, that was a dieting comment, or maybe talk about it later. That can be great. Also having that person so that, if something happens and they're not there with you, that you can talk about it with them later. I think that really helps because since pretty much everyone, it can feel like, is in this diet mindset, you can start to feel like, am I the only one that thinks this way? So to have someone else that you can talk with to kind of check in with each other and being like, oh yeah, that's diet mindset, that's diet culture, that's not normal, that's not what we want to be doing. When you can have that other person just to validate what you're thinking and how you're feeling, I think that can make a big difference. Another thing you can do is think about if you want to respond to people's diet comments, and if you do, when you want that to happen and what you want to say. Now, I don't think it's your responsibility or even necessarily appropriate to always call out the diet comments that people are making, but you might be in situations where you feel like you want to speak up or where someone, talks to you directly about something and you feel like you need some sort of response. So it can be good to kind of think about those situations and think about what you might want to say or when you think you want to actually speak up. For me, if I'm with someone I'm very close to, like a close family member, and they say something, they kind of know where I'm at with all this stuff. So if I say, actually, no, that's not the way it works. It's not like they're feeling attacked or anything like that. They kind of know where I already am on these issues. So, I feel perfectly comfortable, saying, not exactly, when they make comments like that. Also, for me, being a dietitian, a lot of people just come at me with their nutrition questions or diet questions. And if I'm at a party or at a family get-together or something like that, someone might come up and say, hey, I wanted to ask you about this. And, that's an obvious opportunity for me to respond to the question they're asking and kind of redirect that to, you know, a non-diet place. Also, a lot of times people will look at what I'm eating and say, oh, you asked the waiter not to put XYZ in your dish. Why did you make that modification? Is it because that food's bad for you? And, you know, then I say, no, it's because I don't like that food, or because I didn't really feel like I wanted that right now. So it's kind of those small comments, just responding to people. And you might be put in that situation too, even if you're not a dietitian. If people kind of see you in their circle as the healthy eater or the health conscious person, they might kind of look to you and take cues from you based on what you're doing and put a lot of meaning on your choices, which honestly is kind of annoying a lot of times. But if you know that that's kind of coming your way, then thinking about it ahead of time, thinking through what you might say can be helpful. And it doesn't have to be some huge thing. You don't have to explain why you're not dieting or why diets aren't helpful, all that kind of stuff. It's just as simple as, oh, I wasn't really interested in that food, or I didn't really feel like eating that right now, or I'm eating this because it sounded good and I wanted it. You know, you can go through as much as you feel like you need to, but also don't feel like you have to explain every single thing to every person, because they probably don't want that big of an explanation, and it's easy to just kind of get the conversation going another direction if you just, you know, give a short, simple response that doesn't get into all the weeds of diets and why they can be a problem. I also think it can be helpful to surround yourself with anti-diet messages. You know, there is so much of this diet talk all around us, so I think it's a good idea to bring in some anti-diet stuff to at least counterbalance that a little bit. You know, look at who you are following on Instagram, or which YouTubers you're watching, or which TV shows that you're watching, all those kinds of things. Look at that and seek out the people who are promoting an anti-diet message, so you aren't just surrounded by this diet talk everywhere you look. And on the flip side of that, it also means looking at the people you're following and maybe unfollowing some people if they're talking about diet stuff all the time. You know, with diet talk, we can't control a lot of it because it's, you know, the people that are in our lives that are talking about things, or even just things, you know, a magazine cover when you're going through the checkout line at the grocery store, things like that. We can't necessarily block out all of that stuff, but there are some areas where you can do that. If there are people around you on Instagram, on YouTube, television shows, whatever, that are always doing all this diet talk, then that's the time where, you know, maybe you say, I'm not gonna watch that thing, or I'm not gonna follow that person because the messages they're giving me aren't helpful. And let me know in the comments, what are some weird diet comments that people have made to you? Because even if you don't have a real life person to talk to about this stuff, you can definitely talk about these things in the comments of my videos with me and with each other, and I'd love to hear, because I'm sure there are some pretty wild things out there. I know I've experienced some myself. And I hope you like this video. If you are new here and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and videos like this one, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you want to watch some more videos, I have a couple linked over here that you might like. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.